Hello, Dr. Jorgensen.
Hey.
My question is, here in Montana, neighboring states, um, obviously there's a lot of reservation land.
Yes.
The United States government, in response to, what would the Jorgensen administration policy be towards treaty rights, those types of things? Where would that direction go? Obviously, historically, the termination, at least as it was done during the Eisenhower years, didn't really work very well. So I was just curious what your thoughts on that would be.
Yeah, I think that the United States government needs to live up to its treaties. And this kind of brings in the idea of federal land too. And I would suggest that the federal government is the last group of people who you would want in charge of any kind of land, because they certainly wouldn't take care of it as well as just about anybody else here in the country. How many more questions? Okay. All of them? Okay.
As I sit here and live stream you to somebody on
Thank you.
Facebook, um, what would you do about corporate data collection? And would you bring Edward Snowden home?
The corporate data collection, that's a bit tricky. First of all, if corporations want to collect data and people want to give them data, that's fine. However, it needs to be a little more clear because it needs to be consensual. Now, to be honest, we haven't looked into the laws enough to know. I realize that some companies can be very sneaky about that. However, I know other companies basically put things there for people to read and then nobody reads them. So I don't have an exact plan for that, except to say that it should be consensual from both ways. Nobody should be able to, spy on you or surveil you any more than watching what you do walking down the street. As far as Edward Snowden, Julian Assange, Ross Ulbricht, and Chelsea Manning, I'm not sure if on the first day in office, as I'm walking to the meeting to bring the troops home, or walking back from the Pentagon after having brought the troops home, one of those trips in the hallway is when I would absolutely let them out. I would forgive them, pardon them.
Hi, Joe.
Hey.
As a combat veteran and a Purple Heart recipient, I'm curious. Trump ran on the fact that he was going to bring our troops home from Afghanistan. Hasn't been able to, and he's worked very, very, very hard to bring our troops home and to end these forever wars. How would you go about actually making that happen?
Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you very much for your service. I really appreciate that. And I just think it's a shame that somehow the message got out that if you want to bring the troops home, you're not supporting them. Because I've met with a lot of veterans who have said, you know what, I saw things that nobody should have ever seen, and I want to protect my country, but that's not it. I think the problem with Trump, and by the way, I'm not one of these orange man bad people, and I understand why people voted for him, because he came in as an outsider, said, I'm a businessman, I know how to balance a budget, I know how to cut spending, and I'm going to, so I understand that. However, unfortunately, now we see that Republicans, even non-professional Republicans, quickly become Republicans. I would say his downfall was not, he talks about getting rid of the deep state. Part of the deep state is the military-industrial complex, which there's a lot of money, a lot of favors being paid, and I think he was unwilling to get rid of the behind-the-scenes military-industrial complex, because they're all out for their jobs, they're all out trying to get promotions and trying to get big fat paychecks after they leave. You got to get rid of them to get them out of the way. So that's what I would do, and then I would bring in generals who knew what they were doing to help do it safely.